Hello everybody, how you guys doing today? I hope you're feeling a little better. I know we're going through some trying times now. So I wanted to share with you Throwback Thursday, personal experience. I was born in a sharecropper's cabin on the Glen Lily farm in Gatesville, North Carolina. My mother and father and a lot of my community, they were all sharecroppers. And I remember out in the cotton fields, they picked cotton. And, you know, we were poor. And sometimes you didn't know if you were going to get a meal, especially when you were a little kid like myself. I'm the baby of 9. So you didn't know if you were going to have, when were you going to get some food. But when I would be hungry and scared, when I heard the elders singing the spirituals, all of a sudden I felt better. My fears went away. My hunger pains left me. And so, you talked about someone that always loved the spirituals. I grew up loving the spirituals. They comforted me and they gave me courage. And so as an adult, I wanted to share this with others. When I actually was in New York, I moved there and I wanted to share the spirituals, the songs that slaves created with others. I wanted to share that feeling that I had, my love for the spirituals. So I created an actual program. At the time it was called The Spirit Behind the Spirituals. And I created a artist in residence that I could take to schools. So when I debuted this program, I debuted it at the Storefront School in Harlem. I think they're still there, it's an elementary school. And I remember some of the events there. And one thing I want to tell you is that this first program there was a life-changing program, not only for some of the kids, but also for me. When I got there on a Monday, all the kids were coming into this like auditorium slash basketball court, and they were all going to sit on the floor. And all the little ones were going to sit right close to me, and the other ones were just behind them. And they were coming in playing and just having fun and talking, but I noticed this one little girl. She wasn't playing with anyone, she wasn't talking, she wasn't running, she was just walking, her head kind of down, really sad. And she sat down kind of in front of me, along with all the other ones. Then you have the larger kids, behind them. And so I'm up there singing the song, singing the spirituals, explaining some of the secret codes and explaining to them how the slaves created the spirituals and why they created spirituals. And I went through my entire program, and each time I would look down at this little one, she would lower her eyes down. She would not allow me to get eye contact, and she never smiled, didn't say anything. Well, let me just fast forward a bit. That program, my first day, ended. The next day I was going to go back early, and I was going to be in all the different classrooms. So I started with a small group, the young kids. And I was already in the classroom when they started to come in. And here we go again, the little ones, kindergartens, first and second grade, I think it was first and kindergarten together. And they come running in, and this little one, when I saw her coming in, she wasn't running, she wasn't talking with anyone, she was still sad, eyes still down. So she sat there along with all the other ones, and she was kind of in front of me again. And I was explaining to them. I said, the slaves created these songs as a way to tell their story, as a way to heal their pains. I said, they actually put these songs in a way that actually motivated them. But more than anything, if they were sad, they would sing a song about it to release that sadness. And I said, when they were happy, sometimes they would even sing a song that had an upbeat. And I said, I'm going to show you how they used to do it. And I created a song right on the spot. And when I finished, I looked around and I said, now, they also created a way to have a call and response. So when I was saying something, someone would respond, basically almost the same words. And that would encourage me to feel better. And so I said, would anyone like to sing their song and tell their story in a song? And this little girl, who hadn't said a word, never looked me in the eyes, she put her hand up. And I looked at her and I said, oh, so you like to sing your song, tell your story. She said, I said, okay, so you got to get up now. And she did. She stood up. And I said, I'll do the call and response. You go right ahead and start, and I'll do the call and response, okay? I said, now, would you like a little fast beat, like a happy song? And I started playing the guitar, and she just went like this. I said, oh, okay. I said, tell you what, you go ahead and start, and I'll follow, and I'll do the response, okay? And she stood there for a second or two, and all of a sudden, she went like this. She said, I know a man had no shoes, had no food to eat. Then she looked at me because I didn't do the response. And I'm thinking, oh my Lord, what is going on? And I said, oh, I'm so sorry, that's right. I'm gonna do the response. My bad. You go ahead and start over, and I'll do the response. And for about 3 more times, she went, I know a man had no shoes, had no food to eat. And I kept trying to repeat this to her, and she kept right on doing it again for about 3 more times. Well, I'm gonna fast forward. When the artist in residence ended on that week, on that Friday, about 2 weeks after, I got a call from the principal's office saying that, Mr. Earl, we'd like to have your home address so we can send you some letters. All the kids have letters for you, and we want to put them in an envelope and send them to you, a big old folder. I said, look, you don't have to do that. I said, I'm right here in the city. I'm just going to jump on a subway and I'll be right up. And I did. And when I got to the office, the teacher of that little girl was in the office. And she said, Mr. Earl, that song you created about the man with no shoes has haunted me ever since. And I said, you know, I did not write that song. I didn't create that. That was your little student. Now, mind you, this little girl, after she sung her song, I saw her on the school grounds with the other kids after that. And she was playing with them. She was singing, she was, talking, just happened to being a kid. Well, in the principal's office, the principal was standing by her door. She said, what are you guys talking about, the man with no shoes? And we told her. And the principal said, oh, I know this little girl. She has lived with her grandmother all of her life. Last year, her grandmother had to have both her feet amputated. And I stood there and I told them, I said, wow, now the pieces of the puzzle are all together. I know what's going on now. I said, here's a black lady, like her grandmother. Because she had to have both her feet amputated, she obviously gave all of her shoes away. And the doctors, because she had sugar diabetes, the doctors had probably told her time and time again, you can't eat this, you can't eat that kind of food, you can't eat this type of food. So she had no food to eat. And she was verbalizing this with this child who obviously overheard the conversation, her grandmother talking about this. And so it just proves that these spirituals, like me, when I was a little kid, when I was hungry and I was frightened that I didn't know when I was going to eat, they comforted me. And by me telling these stories, doing this artist in residence, it comforted that little girl. And she knew she could tell her story in a song. Sometimes music can tell more and release more and give you more than just trying to hold it in. She was holding all that pain in, and she was able to find a way to release it, and she did. We can do the same thing today. Let's release our pain. I love you guys.